All right, good morning, everyone. Happy October 16th. Quick sound check. Make sure we are G to G. Hey, what's up, Briggs? Good morning. All right, Omer. All right, guys. Couple of things here. So far this week, we kicked off round 2 of our 25 trade challenge back in, called it early October. So far, we made a little bit on Broadcom, profit on Tesla, profit on Meta, a little bit more on Meta, profit on Nvidia, a little profit on Netflix, a loser in Netflix, a winner in Apple, and now we got some Apple calls here for next week. So pretty good start to the current challenge. And then tomorrow's my birthday. My goal was make it a good week. So my P&L so far this week, a little bit shy of 10,000. That's kind of the number I had visualized. I don't think I'm going to force the issue, but 9,500. And then looking at the trades here, biggest loser was I did sell a couple of Apple calls for a 530 loss, and then bigger winners were QQQ and then the Apple trade that we did. So for QQQ and Apple, this was back on Thursday, Friday of last week. Right, QQQ, really clean 4-hour squeeze. So I bought the 500 call for this week, and I sold those on the gap on Monday. Easy peasy. And then Apple, pretty much the same idea. A really clean 4-hour squeeze. We jumped in here on Monday, bought a 235 call for next week. One thing I'm trying to do a bit more, depending on the overall market, depending on the setup. Take Apple, for example. You buy it on Monday, and then Tuesday morning, big gap up, and they push it right towards the previous all-time highs. No headaches, no pullback, really no sweat off your back. Even though you've got the daily squeeze, even though you've got that weekly squeeze, if you can catch a quick gap, and then better yet, if you catch a gap pretty much towards your target, we bought that 4-hour squeeze knowing, that could be good for a push into 235, 237. There's a point in the trade where I think you ask for more, right? More profit, more upside. And then there's a point where I think you pay yourself, and it maybe parlay a little bit of that profit. So going back to the Netflix example, I'm trying to put myself in a position where, more and more of my losing trades, I'm giving back a little profit. So for Netflix, right, the first trade we do a put credit spread. Bought that back for a decent profit. Easy math. Let's just say I make $1,000 on that put credit spread. If I think Netflix has room for higher, I can take 250 of that. I could take 500 of it. I could take the entire $1,000 profit, roll that into another trade. If the math looks like this, where trade number 1, you make 1,000 buckaroos of profit. You think there's room for more upside. Trade number 2, maybe you're going a little further out the money, a little bit more time to expiration. Maybe you're buying $500 worth of calls. From there, maybe Netflix explodes, right? It just keeps on paying you. Or Netflix just falls apart. Right? In your worst case scenario is a net profit of $500. I think in a lot of cases, that's kind of the best of both worlds. I've locked in my profit. Right? Got a little peace of mind, but then I can also keep a little skin in the game. Right? No FOMO, no greed. Right? Did that on Netflix, and then those calls expire. Well, we took about a 65% loss. Between trade number 1, trade number 2, it's a big wash. No bloodshed. And then for Apple, I took about half of my profit from the 235 call, and I put that into the 240 call for next week. Okay, so on my end, trade number one, I'm making, we'll call it 2,600 or whatever it was, 2,500. And then on the 240 call, all right, I'm rolling out about 1,400 of that profit. If Apple goes to zero tomorrow, I'm going to have a net profit of $1,200. I've got no FOMO. I've got no anxiety. I've kind of sealed my fate here. So that is what we're working with. And then it's a very interesting spot here for the market. Tech got a little soft yesterday. Nvidia came in, Broadcom, AMD. If we look first at the daily charts, all right, indexes and the index futures, they're all beautiful. NQ, all right, daily squeeze, perfect score of 15. Until that changes, you have an A+ setup. The S&P futures, daily squeeze, perfect score of 15. The Dow Jones futures, daily squeeze, perfect score. The IWM futures, the RUT, daily squeeze, perfect score. All right, cash products, QQQ. Yeah, you flush yesterday. You dip into a really solid, really bullish daily squeeze. Dow Jones, the diamond, daily squeeze, perfect score. Small caps have one on the daily time frame and the 2-day time frame. Point being, bigger time frames look awesome. That little dip we had yesterday, bigger picture changes nothing. The only issue for now is take the QQQ, for example. Yeah, until that picture changes, I'm not looking for a short. I'm only looking for a spot to buy it. I can only buy that daily squeeze when I get a really good trigger. All right, the trigger to buy it would be a lower time frame buy signal. Could be a 15-minute buy signal, could be a 30-minute, could be an hourly. Looking at the QQQ right now, my hourly chart has a score of 2 out of 15. That's all pretty lame. Not a great buy trigger. My 30-minute time frame has a sell signal. A sell signal can't be a buy trigger. And my 15-minute time frame has a sell signal. All right, what I'm looking for in the context of a really good daily squeeze is that multi-time frame alignment. Can I get to a point where, okay, I've got that really bullish daily squeeze, but then I pop open the hood and the 2-hour chart, 1 hour, 30-minute, 15-minute, right, everything from the ground up is aligned for a move higher. They will not fire a daily squeeze into 500, 505 with 30-minute, 15-minute sell signals. Better yet, they keep on printing the 30-minute, 15-minute sell signal. Then they get a 1 hour, then they get a 2 hour. Hey, we could pull back down to about 485. For all I know, they could pull back, take out support, and then it's a different market. I'm not going to make the assumption the squeeze has to fire to the upside. Buy signal in a perfect score, I'm not going to short it. Can't buy it until I get the trigger. And that's kind of the case for everything. QQQ futures. I want to be a buyer of that daily squeeze. I think I'm going to hold off on doing that until my 1 hour chart no longer has a sell signal. Make sense? And for the NQ, couple of spots for today. Where do I think about getting long? Back above that 20,400. Prop it back above the hourly 21, and then give me a good 15-minute, 30-minute buy signal. They don't do that, I'm not buying it. I think really important support it has got to be that hourly 200. Hourly 200 SMA breaks. I don't quite think the end of the world, but from there, maybe it dipped back down to the daily 21. Good looking daily squeezes, good structure, buy signals. Right, all the fixings for what could be a really nice push. I'll take action on that when I get a trigger. So that is the theme of the morning. Everything really quiet here. And then jumping back to Apple, gonna open, right back around that 233. So locking and rolling that profit. It's a difference in emotions this morning. If I held my original trade, high of day, I'm up, $3,000 a profit. This morning at the open, that might go back towards break even. Now I'm stressed out. Now I'm fixated on the fact, hey, at one point I had a $3,000 profit, and that all just disappeared. I got the gift of the gap, took the gains. I know how bad it can get from here. I made 26. I risked 14. They blow up Apple. I'm walking away $1,200. Makes it all a bit easier. And it's a great looking daily squeeze. The quick push towards the previous high, and then the quick flush could point towards that might be all she wrote until earnings. If we get the QQQ heading back up towards 500, with earnings all the way on the 31st, I think enough time for a move up into about 240. It'll probably be more of a QQQ thing. But that looks pretty solid. And then, if anything after earnings, come check out this brand new weekly squeeze. If is the key word. If they break that out, I think Apple's into 250. Let's go take a look here at NVIDIA. Okay, so NVIDIA pulls back pretty good yesterday. Anything change? If you like the daily chart with a buy signal and a perfect score at 140, then you should love your daily chart with a buy signal and a perfect score at 130. They haven't shifted momentum the other way. They haven't broken the structure. They haven't canceled the buy signal. Still bullish. Still got the perfect score. On that $10 flush, hey, maybe a bit of a discount here. Now can I get a trigger to buy it? I don't care how good the daily chart looks. Got to get the trigger. I'm not going to buy it with a 30-minute sell signal. And I'm not going to buy it with a 15-minute. I would love to buy it, really anywhere above 130, 125-ish. No trigger, no trade. But I think NVIDIA holds up nicely. And then, to be honest, guys, not really a morning where I'm thinking, all right, I've got 3-4 names. They're all setting up. I'm jumping in and I'm ready to take action. I'm thinking more so the opposite. I love all these daily squeezes. They could make for a great trade. But I'm not buying them until they can clean some things up here. If they can't clean some things up here, then maybe a week from today, I'm glad I never bought it. Till that changes, I remain bullish. But we're in cash, so no rush on our end. And then one more thing I want to mention. Indicator updates are in progress. So a few little notes for you. And what I'll do is, in the update is live, which might be maybe end of next week. We'll schedule a session here in the Essentials room, do a good walkthrough. But a couple of things that were changed. I made a few tweaks to our buy and our sell signals. I think a little stronger, a little bit more reliable. And then, the whole focal point is just the A plus setup. If I'm getting long, I'm getting short, I'm doing a debit spread, I'm selling puts. 9.9 times out of 10, I'm doing that because I got the A plus. And by definition, that's as simple as you've got a squeeze and you got the perfect score of now 15. So previously we got a perfect score of 12. I added 3 more ingredients. Now we got a 15. So the whole goal behind this update was, make things a little stronger, make things a little cleaner, and then also just kind of hone in on the the power of focus. For the squeeze histogram, let me show you the settings. The version you all have right now, we have arrows for a squeeze and a buy signal, squeeze and a sell signal, slingshot bull, slingshot bear. We got a lot of arrows. If we have a squeeze and a buy signal, but it doesn't fit all the 15 criteria, I don't really care about it. I'm only going to buy it if it's all perfect. So now on the old squeeze histogram, right, we have arrows for A plus bull, right, squeeze and the perfect score, arrows for the perfect short, and then if you want to keep them on, arrows for the slingshot. The slingshot signals have also been updated. So now the slingshot signal is basically, we got a squeeze, we have a score of 14. The only thing missing is just that momentum shift. You're 1 point away from perfect. So an example of a current one would be, let me see. A current example would be NVIDIA on the 3-day squeeze. So yeah, few changes coming your way. Updated the scans, updated all the watchlist columns, and now we got the ball moving there. But I like it. The less things I can focus on, the better off I am. If I'm not going to take a trade on it, then I don't really care too much to see it. Oh, Google's got a 30-minute squeeze and a buy signal. No. Is it A plus? No. Then I don't care. So yeah, that is on the way here sometime soon. But all right, folks, any questions, anything you want to take a look at? We got about 5 or 10 minutes to hang out here. And then I got to get jumping into the other room. Gold futures. I took a little shot on the gold futures earlier. Little dinner money. 15-minute looking pretty good. 5-minute squeeze looking pretty good. 4-hour squeeze just fired. Not bad here at all. Let's see if they give me a dip. But all right, let me get going through the chat here. Let's get the chatting. Yeah, Kurt, good question. Now, the way that I interpret the ATR trailing stop, the practical function is you buy the gold futures right here, and based on these particular ATR trailing stop settings, you buy it, you put your stop somewhere down here, 2620. They break it, they shift it, you're out of that trade. You can use it for that practical matter. For me, it's a little bit more of a path of least resistance kind of thing. If we're above it and we got good structure, good momentum, it's all kind of shaping up for. One moment here, guys. I'm going to take a little more nibbling. As I was saying, what was I saying? God, I'm going to senile at 32. What were we just talking about? Oh, Kurt. Okay. The trailing stop. For me, it's more of a path of least resistance thing. Good example would be Nvidia. At that big whopping weekly squeeze setting up. Now, for one, it could be a brick wall of resistance. My point of view is a bit more, if they can get it above it, right, shift it in the favor of the bulls. It ain't the end all be all, right? I'm never going to buy something just because, hey, we shifted the ATR trailing stop. But when you look at previous examples of really good squeezes, that weekly squeeze back here, you were above your trailing stop. One more indication, path of least resistance, shaping up to be to the north. Again, not the end all be all, but I think helpful. We're not getting 150, 160 until they take the trailing stop and give it a good shift in. Great question, Kurt. Great question. These are the questions you guys and gals should be asking. Good stuff. All right, let me jump over here real quick. All right, good morning, folks on YouTube. Yeah, thank you for all the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. The big 3-2. I get a weird feeling the next 32 will go by a little quicker than the first. Ariel, the update is not out yet, but fingers crossed, maybe they push it out sometime next week. That should be doable. Terry, thank you, my friend. Grace, thank you. Andrew, Vladimir. Yeah, Ivan, absolutely. If you have the indicators, you get every update until I run out of birthdays. Yeah, any update for squeeze histogram, label, scan, all yours, my friend. Can we upload the indicator to appear on the TOS mobile app? There are a few that work. Like one example is you can throw on the big 3 squeeze histogram. If you tweak the settings, that can work on the mobile app. I know the buy and sell signals can work on the mobile app. It's kind of like roulette. Some work out just fine. Others not at all. From what I've been told by Eric, Eric is the indicator wizard here at Simpler. It's tough to get most things to work on the app, just as far as compatibility and all that good stuff. EO wants to look at some crowd. All right, little dip back below that 200 SMA. Now, they got about 3 ATR above the daily 21. So, a dip, not the craziest thing, I don't think. 4-hour chart got all the way into 3 ATR. Pulls back to a 21 EMA. To be completely honest, I think the next couple of days, call it between now and Friday, I think it's going to be much more of a QQQ SPX thing than a Nvidia, Apple, Amazon crowd kind of thing. A lot of things have good-looking, bigger time frames. Now, I wouldn't call crowd the best, but 7 out of 15 isn't bad. They all have better-looking, bigger time frames. They all caught a bit of a flush yesterday. Now we kind of figure out through the lens of the indexes, can they go through that process of finding support, holding up the structure, canceling all the sell signals, bringing on all the fresh buy signals? They do that in the S&Ps and QQQ. By default, it's a good thing for most names out there. They don't do any of that, and today, tomorrow, Friday, you've got the Qs grinding lower, S&Ps grinding lower. Nvidia, Apple, Amazon, Crowd, Google, all more liable to have a bit more pressure. Better yet, anything even semi-tech related, all comes down to, I think, one setup. What do they do with that daily squeeze in the QQQ? If it's a path into a brand new all-time high of 505, right, should benefit all those names. If it's a move down into 465, then I would expect just the opposite. The fun part is, guys, we'll all find out together. That is the fun part. Pierre's perspectives. You're thinking about 1 day till expiration, 58.65, 58.75. So Pierre, is that a call credit spread or a put credit spread? That looks like let me check the price. That might help me out. Okay, you're looking at 58.65. Okay, so call credit spread. Okay, yeah, I get what you're looking at. I can't speak on the risk reward of the spread, as far as max loss credit, but for a practical matter, doing a call credit spread back up near today's highs, or back up near yesterday's highs rather, the all-time high. If it offers a good risk reward, I like the trade actually. Now the bull's gonna do what the bulls want to do, but it'd be pretty impressive for pop it back above that 21, stabilize it, and then take out the all-time high in one afternoon. Yeah, I don't mind that trade at all. Depending on the size, as far as how many contracts, you could throw on the call credit spread, and then if the S&Ps break back above the hourly 21, maybe buy a few cheap, 58.75 calls, 58.80. Little cheap hedger if the market just explodes today. Yeah, your call credit spread might be crap out of luck, but those cheap calls might explode in your favor. Little something like that. Yeah, Len, that's what I'm starting to realize. It doesn't seem like much time went by between my 21st birthday and my 32nd. Good memories for sure. But all right, folks, I'm going to let you go here. I got to jump into the mastery room. Thank you for your time this morning. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. Much, much, much appreciated. Good luck today. My biggest piece of advice would just be enter the session in a position of patience. Buying bullish charts with a lack of a trigger, that can lead to a few headaches. Quickly shorting bullish charts, that can also lead to a few headaches. I'd have a mindset of, whatever the next big move is, I don't got to be the first guy there. Let me show up late with a little more conviction behind it. Adios, y'all.